before this interview, I didn't even know what to expect because I've never had an RN interview here. My first job, I just transited, so I didn't even have the interview. So I went to YouTube, I made research, I just wanted to finish them on the interview date. So I did them and I got the both jobs. Guess what? I'm sharing every question with you. You're welcome to my channel. My name is Chi. So today I'm gonna be sharing with you my MedSurg job interview experience. Some of you know I've been working in a long-term care for a while now. I've been working with geriatrics for about 7 to 8 months. But when I was 5 months, I started applying for the hospital jobs, and they couldn't schedule me for an interview because they felt I wasn't 6 months yet. So when I became 6 months, I got 2 job interviews for 2 different hospitals. So I decided to start getting things ready, and I went to LinkedIn, checked out the names of the people that were going to interview me, and I also went to their website to Google and just know what their goals and their missions, visions were, and get ready. So both interviews were virtual, so I compiled all the questions together here so I can share with you. So on the day for the interview, I didn't go to work at all. I was off duty, so I got ready. Like when it was like 30 minutes, I got dressed up, made sure my hair was looking all neat. It was virtual, it wasn't the camera, so I just wanted it to look nice. And I got all the papers that I needed, things like my license, my social security numbers, just informations that they might just need to ask me so that I won't be running. So that I won't be running everywhere. So, and when I did that, I made sure my team view, because I was using my laptop, so I made sure my team view was working well, and I turned it on for like 15 minutes to the interview time. I just needed to be punctual, so I was just there all sitting and waiting. When it was time, the interviewer, the nurse, usually is nurse manager. One of them, it was in one nurse manager, then the other one I did, it was 2 different nurse managers that interviewed me. So the first thing they asked me, I think that's what they usually ask the first time. So the first question they asked me was like, tell me about yourself. So I was expecting that question anyway, because I've gone through a lot of YouTube videos, I'd done a lot of research, so I was just everywhere at that point. So when they told me to talk to them about myself, I knew it was an opportunity for me to sell myself. So I didn't want to start talking about family members, how old, and all of that. I just went straight to the point, told them my name, and talked about my experience. I talked about my experience when I was in Nigeria, like briefly, just talked about where I worked, what I did when I worked there, like my job duties and responsibilities briefly. I talked about the 2 places I worked, then I talked about when I moved here, what I did next, worked as a CNA for like 6 months, and then became a nurse. And then when I became a nurse, the kind of things I did here, I do presently, I just briefly talked about it. And I told them that, tell me about yourself. The next thing they asked me, okay, so when I told them I moved from a different country to this place, they just wanted to know what was nursing practice in Nigeria, like what's the difference between there and here. So I told them it's not so much. The only places where I had like little challenges was just equipment that we didn't use back home, so I just needed to get used to those equipments. And then here is like more in-depth of practice, like you had to take responsibility of so many things which we didn't do much back home. So that was just the only thing that was really hard and different. So she also wanted to asked me that, what do I see myself in the next 5 years? So, and I'm so happy that I watched a lot of YouTube videos then, but I found this question on a YouTube video that I watched. So I told them that, because they don't want to hear your goals, the ones you want to do, like in future you want to become a nurse practitioner, you want to do that. So I just told them that I want to be certified in MedSurg, as in become a certified MedSurg nurse first, and then I would like to become a preceptor as well, because the place I was at, the hospital is like a research hospital, so they usually have new nurses to train, they have a lot of things, so they really value training. So I told them that I used to be a clinical training officer, and I would like to also continue being a trainer or a preceptor, here, So, or become a nurse manager or become a director of nursing. They just want to know, are you going to stay with them for a while, for at least 5 years? So you can use your past experiences and relate it to your present experience. So the next thing they asked me was, why should we hire you? This is another opportunity for you to sell yourself. This particular question just made me laugh because one of my colleagues, she's kind of older colleague, so she told me that like many years ago, about 15 years ago, she's an LPN. So when she went to the hospital for an interview, and they were telling her that it's hard to get into the hospital, it's hard to get into. And then I did not ask her, why do you think we should hire you? She said she just looked at the interview. She was like, I don't even know. I don't know why you should hire me. She just took her bag. She said almost she left there. That day I was like, geez, I've never heard. So anyway, they'll ask you, why should they hire you? So this is another skill talking time. Like, talk about your skills. What do you have? So for me, I told them that I have good observational skills, which I truly have, and then I pay attention to details. I'm organized, because I'm organized, I'm really, really efficient in care. I value quality of care. So I now chipped in that my nurse manager says, you're very efficient, and truly I'm efficient. But okay, they also wanted to know that how will you correct a colleague that is carrying out an unsafe practice. So I told them that I'm not going to embarrass or correct publicly. I'll just take the person in private and be like, okay, this is not right, you're supposed to do it this way, respectfully, but if you finish and the person keeps doing the same thing, you might need to escalate it to the nurse manager. But first of all, respectfully take the person out, and then just say, I don't know, I think, just avoid saying you did it wrong. Just, I think maybe we should do it this way, it might be better, or this is the way, that kind of thing. So again, she also wanted to know that when did you go above and beyond for a resident? Like, when did you go above? I was like, there's so many times I just told them that there's so many times I've gone above and beyond for residents or for my patients. The one I can remember vividly was one of the patients that didn't have like family members. She's about 100, and so she has lost like all family members, and she's all by herself. She didn't have people always visiting her, so I made it a point of duty that when I'm free, when I really don't have anything to do, I just go in there to have a conversation. So with her, she just tells me everything, like she has been looking for who to talk to. So I think that really made a difference for her, so that was one time I really went out of my way. So again, they also wanted to they asked me again that, how do you see working as a team? So this question, I related it to my past experience because I used to work in a team as a team leader. So I told them that, that this is so easy for me because I worked as a team leader, so I learned leadership. So communication is key. It's very important. Respect for one another, to respect people, and also you have to carry them along, because at the end of the day, you're trying to achieve the organizational goal or even meeting the needs of the resident or patient. So I think they were pleased. So I think they asked me, what was this question always comes, what was your weakness? What is your weakness? So I told them, the weakness I have is, I don't know, I just like to do things myself because I think I'll do it better, even to the point that vital signs, if it's the CNAs or whoever that's supposed to do it, sometimes I just go ahead and do it because sometimes I just feel, maybe the numbers might be mixed up, or I just want to do things myself. But you can't keep doing things yourself, because if not, you're going to become overwhelmed, so I just learned to delegate some of those duties, to the right people. So I think that was it. So after that, I think they also asked me that why did I want to leave my current job. So they asked me, why are you leaving your current job, why the hospital? So I told them that I'm leaving because I decided to leave. That first of all, I told them I love my job, because you really need to let them know, they'll think you probably had conflict, you're running away, blah blah blah. So I told them I love my job. I love my job so much, but I'm comfortable now, and I feel it's time for me to grow. It's time for me to use my skills more in other places like the hospital, so they were pleased. I think they were pleased with the answer. So after that, they told me they were going to get back to me, and they told me the number of hours and shifts that they have available. So when I had these two interviews, the first one told me it was like a 12 hours shift, and then they would pay me a lesser amount, not lesser than what I'm working now, but lesser than the other one. But the other one is paying more. So somehow a particular one was just aligning. It was just aligning to what I wanted. It was 12 hours. That means 5 times in 2 weeks. I could still do my other job, part-time. And it was a research institute. I just wanted somewhere that we have to learn new things. I just want to be good in nursing, and I also want to be able to give out to new upcoming nurses, because I've always been a training officer. I think I was supposed to be maybe a teacher or something. I don't like talk, but I just like to teach people if they're willing to learn. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.